When it comes to international regulation, different countries seem to be proceeding at different speeds.
Yeah.
In Europe, we're already seeing a far more robust regulatory framework than there is in the United States and even in India. And therefore, in India, we're still debating the privacy bill, which comes up in the monsoon session if the opposition were to allow it. And there is already an urgent need to be regulating AI. So what you're saying in principle sounds correct, but in reality, how do you see that being implemented?
I think there is as much a danger, interestingly enough, in rushing to regulate something that maybe hasn't been sort of properly analysed yet than there is about being too slow. So being too fast can also create problems because it means that you suffocate a lot of the innovation that will come from AI, or that at least would be the risk, which would be a great shame particularly for countries like India. I mean, India, it's not a question of if, it is a question of when India becomes one of the great digital superpowers of the world. It already has the world's second largest community of developers, and there are fantastic innovators, entrepreneurs, developers in India who are using AI today. And I think that culture of innovation, which is so strong in India, for which India is sort of globally famous, is something you don't want to sort of stymie by rushing to pass laws when it's not always obvious that new laws are necessarily the answer. I do think new laws will be necessary, but I think it's no bad thing to take a little bit of time to get it right.
That's the big tech view on it. A lot of AI practitioners, including those who've been involved in developing the field of artificial intelligence, have come out, passed resolutions demanding that there be an immediate pause on further development till the time regulators, government, society, citizens can understand the power of what has been unleashed. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that's a bad idea? Are we moving too fast?
Well, interesting that they're not saying that too much anymore. They were a couple of months ago. This debate is moving so quickly. I think there was a sort of eruption of existential concern, 2 or 3 months ago, when there was this view that AI, as I said earlier, could develop a kind of agency, an autonomy, a kind of capacity to think and develop plans of its own to replicate itself. But I think the more people have now calmly looked at the AI models that we have today, right now, I think people have kind of recognized that actually the models we have right now are far, far, far short of and nowhere near as powerful as that somewhat apocalyptic future suggests. Now, it may materialize, in which case it's a good thing we've had this debate at this stage. But right now, in terms of the capacity of what even the most advanced AI models can do, they don't have the autonomy and agency that we as human beings have. They're not going to suddenly turn on the human race in a way that I think was somewhat breathlessly suggested a few months ago.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.